My wife said she wanted an open marriage to explore her options. I said, sure, sounds fair. Then I told her I'd already been seeing someone for 3 months. Her face went completely white. We'd been married 6 years. Everything seemed fine until she came home from girls' night around 11 on a Tuesday. I was watching TV when she sat down next to me with this serious expression. She had clearly been rehearsing what she was about to say. She started with how much she loved me and valued our relationship. Then came the but. She said she'd been doing a lot of thinking lately about life and happiness and personal growth. Said she didn't want to wake up at 50 with regrets about roads not taken. That's when she dropped it. She wanted to open our marriage. Just temporarily, she said. Just to explore and make sure we were together by choice, not obligation. She had this whole speech prepared about modern relationships and how monogamy was just a social construct. I let her finish. Then I asked if there was someone specific she had in mind. She hesitated for just a second too long before saying no, not really, just the idea in general. But her yoga instructor's name had come up a lot lately in conversations. A guy named Derek who was apparently very spiritual and understanding. I sat there quietly for a minute. She was watching my face, probably expecting tears or anger or pleading. Instead, I just said, okay, that sounds fair. She blinked a few times, clearly thrown off by my calm reaction. Then I mentioned that I'd actually been seeing someone for a few months already. Her name was Sarah. She worked in accounting at my office. We'd been getting coffee before work, going to concerts on weekends, really connecting on a deep level. The color drained from her face. She just stared at me, mouth slightly open. Then the questions started flooding out. When did this start? How long exactly? Why didn't I say anything? What kind of person does this behind? Their spouse's back? I reminded her. Bet she had literally just asked to open our marriage. She said that was completely different because she'd asked permission first. She'd been honest and upfront about her feelings. I pointed out that she'd clearly already met Derek and developed feelings for him before having this conversation with me. So obviously asking permission wasn't that important to her either. She just hadn't acted on it yet, or at least that's what she was claiming. She got defensive, saying emotional connections are different from physical affairs. I asked if she'd kiss Derek. She went quiet. That answered that question. The crying started next. Big, dramatic sobs about how I'd betrayed her trust and destroyed our marriage. How could I be so manipulative and cruel? She'd opened her heart to me about her feelings and I'd thrown this in her face. I just kept asking what exactly I'd done wrong. She wanted an open marriage. I told her I was already in another relationship. Isn't that what open means? She kept saying I knew what she meant, that I was twisting things. She slept in the guest room that night. The next morning, she was on the phone with her sister before I even got out of bed. I could hear her version of events through the door, painting me as some master manipulator who'd been cheating and then used her honesty against her. Her mom called me at work that afternoon. She was screaming before I even said hello. How dare I humiliate her daughter like this? What kind of man treats his wife this way? I was a liar and a cheat, and she'd always known I wasn't good enough for her baby girl. I waited for her to take a breath, then asked if she knew about Derek the yoga instructor. Dead silence on the other end. Then some stammering about how that was different. That was just talking. I asked if she thought I should have just talked to Sarah too, or if that standard only applied to her daughter. She hung up on me. My wife barely spoke to me the rest of the week. She'd just glare from across rooms and type furiously on her phone. I'm sure telling everyone who'd listen about what I'd done to her. That Saturday, her brother showed up with a truck. She'd already packed her essentials and was moving back to her parents' house. She needed space to figure things out, she said. Space away from someone who could lie so easily. I helped carry boxes to the truck, didn't argue or try to stop her. She kept waiting for me to break down and confess or apologize. I just loaded her stuff and waved as they drove away. My wife moved out that weekend, still furious about my relationship with Sarah. Sarah doesn't exist. I'd spent those 3 months at the gym,